Downsizing for retirement is a great way to save money and could also help simplify your life and reduce your home maintenance. If you haven't thought about it just yet, Colin Evans from Evans Financial Group is here to talk more about the subject and how it could be more beneficial. All right, Colin, there is a correct way to do this. Let's go ahead and talk about how this can be beneficial for some.
Yeah, you know, as you asked, we're entering that time frame. We're talking about those that are entering into that retirement and, you know, the empty nesting that's there when the kids are gone, hopefully, and you know.
Hey, no, I heard a report that the kids are staying later now, Colin. Remember?
I know, and I actually still know a few. I still know a few that are.
Yeah.
Still know a few that are. But one of the first things that you can do, because you might realize, hey, you know, goodness gracious, Bob, Mary, do you want to keep up with the house? Is that a big deal? Because sometimes we realize as we've grown up and we've gone through life and we start accumulating things and kids, things along those lines, do we need a house this big? Do we want to maintain a house this big? You know, might be a time for us to look at downsizing. You can look at even some of the retirement communities, but downsizing that house, that could do a couple things. One, that can free up some maintenance costs. It could free up, you know, the bills that are coming in because we're paying it on a lower house or a lower square footage.
And one level, right? We hear about people doing one levels all the time. They don't want the stairs anymore.
That's actually a great thing, especially when you start thinking about the future of your own health and mobility. And, you know, the stairs might become a burdensome thing in that, you know, in that time frame. And in doing that and reducing that, you could reduce your home cost, the actual cost itself, or if you're fortunate enough and you don't have a mortgage, you might actually be able to get funds out of that home that you're currently in, and that can help assist and offset some of that retirement stuff. You know, and then we move into, you know, the vehicle use. That could be a thing, and I see this quite often. Is, you know, with a lot of our retirees that are clients, is, you know, they shift into one vehicle. They might not have the, you know, the needs to where they're both at separate careers or separate things that they're consistently doing. You see a lot of that going, hey, we only need to have one car.
Vehicle, yeah.
And what's that now going to do? We can, well, reduce maybe possibly
insurance,
a car payment.
too.
We've got insurance there and lower cost of fuel. So that's another thing that can actually start shaving a little bit of the expenses out of the retirement time when you move, especially with those fixed incomes.
Quite a bit.
You know, and declutter. This could be a little bit of a liberating thing, decluttering and simplifying life. You know, we've talked before, I'm a gigantic fan of, I go on my tirades of hitting stuff in the house and then hitting eBay with it, just because it becomes like this fun little addiction. Like, ooh, $27, I made that. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it.
Joe made me bring up your panini again, Colin.
You know, I'm gonna bring that, I'm gonna give that to you for Christmas.
I'm sorry, every time it just, you walk right into it with me.
But that can be a thing. It could be decluttering, you know, as we're shifting a home or a household and we go to another place, that is also a time that we want to declutter and we toss stuff and get rid of stuff, donate it to Goodwill, get it, you know, possible deductions on that end. And this can allow you to, you know, adjust that lifestyle and budget. And what I mean by that is, you know, in that time frame, we start to see more and more that experiences matter. Experiences become a greater thing in relationships as opposed to materialistic and the things that we kind of accumulate in life of stuff and hobbies and, you know, things that we might collect that we realize, hey, maybe this doesn't really matter too much to me anymore, and I would rather collect experiences. Mine, travel. That's, you know, I still want to get a lot. I want to get a lot of it out of the way now, but even more so when I move into the retirement phase and I've got 365 days of vacation that I can pick up and do what I want to do.
I mean, that all sounds great. That all sounds great. And then let's talk again real quick about the budget. When do you think that we should be doing that? And what does that look like when we're simplifying that specific budget? Because we've also talked about inflation. And when we get to the end, we're like, okay, we're reducing as well, but we always have to take into account about inflation as well.
Yeah, and when you're actually sitting on that fixed income, and that inflation hits hard. And it not only does it hit us, but it hits those that are specifically living off of that fixed income when it goes to Social Security or any of the fixed retirement programs that they might be on. And when we see that, you know, those cost of goods at the grocery store are now double, if not triple, what it takes with $100 to not get near what it used to be. Like, I can walk out with that in one sack of groceries. And being able to do that and simplifying life, we actually can see that this does help offset some of those budget expenses that we're starting to see.
Right.
And this is a good inflation offset. You know, downsizing the home, as we originally discussed, This right now, it will be a little bit of a tough time just because interest rates are still up. So we're hoping to see a little bit of that cut down this year when the feds get together, and they've already announced that they're going to give us a couple rate cuts this year. So that's something that we can keep on the forefront and put in the kind of the back of people's minds of, hey, we're going to see some rate cuts, and this might be a good time for us to look at downsizing.
There you go. Thank you for answering that question for me and for being here today, Colin, and talking to us. I'll see you next Wednesday on the 4 p.m. for more financial coverage. You'll be here.
Looking forward to it.